So on this segment of The Armed Consumer, we're going to be discussing heating and cooling as a trade. And today with us, we have got Tom Hatlin, we've got Steve Fliss, and we have Mark Ratliff. All three of these guys are pros in their trade. And we're going to start out with Tom. Tom, how many years have you been in the business?
I've been doing this for 20 years.
Okay. And it's heating and cooling is what
Heating
you mean?
and cooling, you know, pretty much residential and commercial, but a lot of residential.
Okay. Steve?
28 years, and I work with Mark now. We're considered the hot water specialist, but I did mostly heating and cooling.
Clarify for me when you say a hot water specialist, because as a consumer, like, okay, who do I call? I got an issue, who do I call? If it relates to a furnace in particular, we're not thinking hot water there, but a heating and cooling guy also covers.
Sure. Well, a hot water specialist, typically we're talking boilers, domestic hot water.
Which is about 8% of the market residentially.
Right, both steam and hot water.
Okay.
So that's not a big chunk of it, but we do pool heaters, any boilers.
Okay, and would hot water specialists also include the, I should probably be referring to Mark on this really, I'll go to Mark now. Mark, how many years have you been doing this?
35 plus.
35 plus, you said you've been doing it since, you said the company's been in business since 1955, okay.
Yes, and no, I'm not that old.
No, I was just saying, I'm doing the math in my head, I didn't think so. At least not on camera. No. So, explain to us the hot water thing, because would that also be radiant heat under the floors?
Hot water has to do everything from swimming pools, water heaters, radiant heat, baseboard heat. You know, we are the hot water specialists, meaning plumbers do plumbing, mechanical guys do mechanical.
And when you say mechanical, that's heating and cooling.
That's heating and
That's like
cooling.
Tom's
That's
definitely that
gas
thing.
lines, things like that.
Okay.
When we started in 1955, what really came up was the fact we started as a plumbing repair company,
Okay.
and nobody worked on water heaters. And water heaters at that time were automatic water heaters. They had different controls on them, bimetals and things like this. And what happened was my father was the founder of this company, and he started working on water heaters and found that nobody worked on them. So
They just replaced them.
they just replaced them, or they bring in a rep from the factory, which was in those days Kankakee, Illinois, or Ashland, Tennessee, you know, different places. But they'd bring a rep in, and if they couldn't get them fixed, they'd replace them, or whatever. Now, commercially, it was a real problem, because they'd use a factory rep to get to that point, and they had nobody local. And there wasn't any warranties on it, because the only people that do it was the factory. Well, Hartford and Ratliff started doing the warranties, meaning we became their eyes and ears. So by 1958, we had strictly specialized in hot water, finding out that that's what we did. We worked for the factory.
But then you not too long ago brought Steve on because he specialized more in the heating and cooling side, the same thing that Tom did, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
and also, Steve had a lot of experience in boilers with the last company he was with.
Okay, okay,
And I needed a good service manager. So.
okay. You fit the bill, even though he had his cell phone on. We're gonna give.
Sorry about that.
Hey, so I'll start. This is right across the board. So a good friend or family member is. Let's just start with Tom, I guess. A good friend or family member out of town is hiring a pro, somebody to come in and, let's say, put in a furnace. What is the one thing you're going to make sure that they're aware of, to have in the contract or to ask?
You know, one of the main things is first of all, to make sure that everything's put in writing and it's spelled out completely as to what you're going to be getting, what the job's going to entail.
Apples to apples.
Yeah, and just to make sure that everything's spelled out real well. Also, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that want to do the job without pulling permits. You know, permits through the state of Michigan, there's an inspector that's going to come out, make sure the job's done right. And, you know, that's really important, that the job gets done properly, there's not going to be any safety violations.
So you're big on permits, which most are.
Just to go up what Tom said, you know, a lot of guys say, well, no, that's in there, or no, I've got that covered, but they didn't put it in writing.
Right.
And like Tom said, if you're not looking at it apples, and see exactly what they're giving you, they can keep telling you it's covered until it gets down to the job's not quite what I thought it was.
Right.
And well, I never said I'd do that. So they really have to do that. And like Tom said, permits are huge.